Good day. Now, it's been quite a hectic past 7 days because my visit to the limb centre didn't quite go to plan when I went up this last week. I was meant to be collecting a walking socket, and the running blade had actually surprisingly showed up the day before. So my limb centre prosthetist and his workshop guy decided to keep it a secret. They knocked out a second socket for me, including Union Jacks, in less than 24 hours and produced me the running leg when I turned up expecting the walking leg. So feeling pretty excited about that. Now, there are some questions that I've had, well, quite a lot of the same question actually. So, is it hard to walk on? Well, personally, no, I don't think so. I was walking and running on it straight away, but apparently this is not the norm, and it does usually take people a wee while to get used to it, but I found it really easy. Does it cost a lot? Well, actually, no. Well, it does, but in the grand scheme of things, the hydraulic extended range ankle that I walk on my ordinary walking leg actually costs slightly more than the blade, because, well, the blade is just a little bit of physics and some carbon fiber, and everything else in joints and ankles and things like that for prosthetic limbs has increased in its technology over the years. So I suppose that, the hydraulics and all of that sort of thing is what it makes it a bit more expensive. So actually, no, the hydraulic extended range ankle is actually more expensive than the blade, just by a fraction. So there we go. That's the two most asked questions. Now, I have been having a little play around, and I have been out for a walk and a run, a few times in the park early in the morning, and I'm trying to get my cardiovascular system to catch up with the rest of me and remind myself how the hell it was I ran. Bear in mind, I haven't run on the knee replacement, and I have not run for 10 years in total. So you know how you say you're starting again from scratch? Well, I think I'm further back than scratch. So I started off with 10 seconds in intervals. I'm up to 20-second intervals. Now, I've been to see the physio today, and he had me hopping around and balancing on it and all the usual crazy stuff. But he says that I should now switch it to 30-second jog and 1 minute walk. So that's what I'm going to do next. And we are going to increase the interval of the jog until I get up to 1 minute of jogging. When I get to that, I've got a back to running plan that he's given me that I can follow, but I've got to get there first. Got to get to first base first. So then I took it to work and decided to have a wee play around at work to see how I would get on. And I've also, in the meanwhile, been cycling as well. And on Zwift, I managed to get back to within a second of one of my sprint PBs. And this was one where Joel, my physio, bust his ass to beat me. So I'm really interested to see how much faster I can get that sprint, so I can knock another second off and possibly beat him back. And that'll be a feat if I can, because I have got less feet than I had before. The other thing we were talking about today was running gait, and is stride length and stride pattern the same for a blade? We don't know. Is there enough research that's been done for this? Probably not, but it's going to have a wee look. I also went for a walk down on the estuary, and it was faster and better than I expected, and I haven't been down there for ages. Now, he's thinking that now I'm going to just like suddenly one day go, oh, I can do that, because we're this far down the track. I don't know, we'll see. And what else? Oh yes, and then the bike. I took the bike up to Dunedin to get it gravel wheels. Now what they forgot to do is put a magnet on the back wheel when they put the gravel wheels on, and the bike's not assisting. So I did 2 laps around the block on Sunday without assistance. Now I knew at the time that's what was happening, and I'm glad I didn't decide to go for a ride somewhere else. So that's how it's going. I'm not going to try the massage with the running leg just yet, because the leg length discrepancy is quite big, and I want to get used to walking around and jumping and mobilizing on it first before I try it with massage. But yesterday, when I was here at work with it, it was all just fine. There are some limitations for it that it just won't do, but it does do jumping very well. So I think I'm going to have to plan carefully when it is that I actually wear the leg at work, based on what sort of activities that I've got going. But anyway, that is my last week, roughly in summary. And I'm just going to stick on the end the videos that I took along the way. Just been on run number 2. Now I am reeling in my excitement and not overdoing it, so I could have gone and done that all again, but I've decided I'm not going to, because I need to be sensible. I need to teach this leg how to take load, and I need to learn how to use this blade. This time I structured it with 20 seconds run and 30 seconds of rest. Walk attempts 5 lungs that are struggling really with the added load. I've also discovered that the blade, by its nature of its shape, forces me forward and forces me to do the push off at the back of the stroke of the step more than the step down and stride through. It's the back end of, you know, your toe off at the back that I'm really having to work hard on. So it's forcing my hamstring and glute to work hard. And so when I stop, my quad on one side, my hamstring and glute on the other side. It's a little bit odd, but there we are. So I'm just going to pursue this for a week, the same intervals, 20, 30 times 5, with a walk at the beginning and end, and then see how I'm doing at the end of the week. I bumped into someone I know as well. I thought I'd managed to avoid that. And she thought I had been for a run and had no idea that I was only out on it for the second time and that it was brand new. So that's pretty cool. We had a conversation about the science of it all and the difference of the leg lengths and why that is and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, everybody found it quite interesting that there's a lot more physics and science behind the way they make prosthetic legs for different functions than you actually realise. And still in the park this morning. Fog, which probably means it's going to be really hot later.